accurate local forecast with meteorologist Jackson Chastain starts now.
All right, Jackson. So yesterday we hit a record.
We did.
We got to 90.
90 degrees on the second day of May. I mean, that's incredible.
I love it.
I'm sure you did. Thankfully I was inside most of the day, so I didn't really feel that.
Unfortunately, not sticking around for the weekend.
Not sticking around for the weekend. We actually have a rain chance over the weekend, which is something I'll talk about in a second. But let's focus on today first, because today is Friday, one of the best days of the week, if not the best day. This is a live look from Harrisburg right now, and the sky doesn't look particularly beautiful, but that doesn't really matter when temperatures are comfortable outside, which they absolutely are. 70 degrees in Harrisburg right now, 69 in Lebanon, 70 in Lancaster, 68 in Louisville, 72 all the way up in State College, and 73 in Chambersburg. As you get through the rest of your afternoon today, only getting to the mid to upper 70s, but I think that will be good enough for most people. I really like that upper 70s range. It's kind of a nice sweet medium there for not too warm, not too cold. So enjoy that afternoon. We cool down into the upper 50s by the time we get to that midnight hour. Winds remaining relatively light, which will be a good thing for all of you folks outside. Now, we are tracking some rain. As I mentioned, that's driven by a low pressure that is making its way east. It's centered over the Great Lakes at this moment. Cold front driving its way off to the east is pushing this rain in our direction. So when is this all going to begin? Well, for the rest of the day today, no issues. It's going to be dry. As I mentioned, go enjoy that outdoor. Once you get into the early morning hours Saturday, that's when you're going to start to see the earliest shower activity start to kind of move into the region. And it's going to stay relatively scattered throughout the day Saturday. So it's not going to be particularly heavy. You could see a heavier downpour, but for the most part, it's going to be steady, scattered showers just continuing through the region. And then once you get into the overnight into Sunday, that's when you start to see some heavier rain move on through. So something that we are tracking should clear out by around dinner time, and by the late evening hours on Sunday, we'll be good to go. But for that basically 36-hour period, we're anticipating pretty much a wet atmosphere going on. In terms of how much rain we could get, well, it could be pretty damp out there, over an inch in most places. I would say an inch to an inch and a half is probably what we'd about expect. Could you see some locally heavier totals? That's always a possibility, but we're going to continue to track that for you and keep you updated. Beyond that, we stay mild heading into next week. Then we cool down just a little bit as we get into the latter half. Notice some of these greens, these cooler greens starting to push their way into the region just later in the week. So temperatures at the moment, 77, that's going to be great. Cooling down a bunch over the weekend, popping back up there by the time we get into early next week, and back in the 80s by Thursday, hinting at a potential cool down after that. But James, thankfully, the cooler weather not sticking around for too much longer after this weekend.
All right, sounds good, Jackson. Thank you very much.